All right, welcome to TTBoy TV. Today with a very interesting guest, and we have also a special guest interviewer. This guy, I think, is taking the throne over as from Mandingo and a lot of the actors. Right? I mean, this is what I'm guessing. This is what I'm hearing. So please welcome Dredd.
Hello. What's up, everybody?
What up?
What's up? Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, man. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Glad to be here. In the presence of greatness right here, man.
Thank you.
My mind.
We got Lexington still here too, okay?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Eating bagels and shit, but
We're gonna sit down and have a nice, interesting talk.
Mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, how long you been in the business?
You know what, man? It's kind of deceptive because I jumped in 2009, right? And I did a handful of scenes for these guys down in Miami, and just wasn't sure. It was more just trying it out to see what it was like. I mean, I was always a fan of the industry, so the opportunity came up and I took it. I did a handful of scenes and left that same year. So left, was gone 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. Came back in 2015. So collectively, we're talking about maybe 5-6 years.
So the scenes you shot in Miami,
Right.
You weren't filming the directors or the camera?
You know what, man? Again, the desire was there to do it. I just wasn't sure about my own capabilities. It was kind of rough early on, and I didn't want it to be like that. But, we did what we could. But in the time I was gone, I kind of worked on the craft, Yeah.
But what I don't know is, how were you discovered? Like, what was your very first entry into adult media?
You know what? I was working a regular 9 to 5 down in Miami, pharmaceutical company, kind of hating it. And I'm listening to satellite radio at that time, Howard Stern, and he's talking to somebody about this nationwide search for the new, big dick guy, big personality, because they were working with a guy by the name of Shane Diesel, and he had left. So they had this nationwide search going on to find somebody similar to him. It's kind of hard shoes to fill. But so I'm listening to this, and they're like, look, if you think you're that guy, send us some pictures of what you're working with, and we'll take it from there. So I'm, working, doing my thing, and I'm listening to this. I'm saying, you know what, this is probably my shot. So, I remember, man, like it was yesterday. I ran into the bathroom, I had my phone, got chubbed up, took a few shots, sent it in. And the next day they called me, man. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They said, you're the guy. And I was like, are you sure? And they said, yeah, man. And they said, we want to get you out here. And of course, I backed up, I said, oh shit, it's about to get real. But I eventually ended up taking them up on it, and that's what started it. I came in with the guys who were shooting. They went by Hush Pass at the time. And like I said, we did some stuff, and again, it just kind of fell by the wayside, man. I figured, that's it. I kind of experienced it, and that was it.
So you were struggling, is what I'm feeling?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was struggling, and I mean, I had the potential was there. I just couldn't really channel it, I mean, there was some good shoots, and there was some bad, and I just kind of, at the end of the day, I said, you know what, that's it. I experienced it. It ain't happening. That ship has sailed. I'm gonna move on, and I just went back to working the regular job, man.
But that must have got in your head over those years?
It did, but see, you know what happened was, right after that, I got into the lifestyle, swinging. Mm-hmm. And that is what really cemented it. Because, in doing that, I was fucking wives and girlfriends.
I know. I know. I'm like the lifestyle master.
Yeah, right. You know,
It's like the training ground, gladiator training grounds.
Yeah, right. It's like gladiator school.
Right.
For porno guys, it actually is.
Yeah.
Especially because you take into consideration that most of the sex is condom.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So, to be able to do that way and hone your craft.
Right.
In the most difficult or challenging circumstances, like wearing a condom with a stranger.
Yep. Totally. So once I left porn that first stint, it was all lifestyle years to the point of where, couples would fly me out to Missouri, to Chicago and all over, flying me out for the sole purpose of railing their wives or girlfriends. And
So they're paying you.
no, man, no monetary gain. It was all just fucking for fun. But
I'm down for that.
no, right.
Sport fucking.
Yeah.
That was always you too? For the
Sport fucking?
No, for the
No.
the lifestyles.
No, I mean, when I traveled, if I traveled, I had to be paid. Mm-hmm. But I was traveling like internationally. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like, North African princes and shit, and diamond mine owners and
For swinging?
yeah.
Wow.
No. Same thing Fred's talking about. But I mean,
Lifestyle.
high end lifestyle that was bordering on escorting.
You're fucking the girls, though. It's all, yeah.
But
I got
because I was compensated more, it is what it is.
Right.
But it was still swinging,
Yeah.
but we were compensated.
all right.
Especially the farther you went away,
Yeah.
you got to hit me up on something. I mean, I can stay home and fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So when the girls, first we got to understand who you are, right? Because I'm not watching movies that much. I saw a quick clip.
Right.
Looks like you got a big dick.
Right.
So the people will always want to know, the main question: how big is your dick? How many inches?
Man, I'm gonna be totally 100% honest with you on this one because I get asked that probably every day. I never honestly measured it, man.
I would be measuring it, man. Not me. I mean, if I had that dick, I'd be measuring. Don't get it twisted. I'll be measuring it. I measure mine. Mine ain't even that close.
Right. But I mean, I think when I was like really a lot younger, man, maybe I took a ruler or a tape measure to it. But, since I realized what I was working with was bigger than the average, I haven't measured it. I would always just say 10 inches to play it safe.
Well, you're like a humble, nice guy.
Right.
I feel that. You're a really nice, sincere guy.
Yeah.
That's not. That's nice. That's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, not an egomaniac. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, in this day and age, male performers, man, I'm noticing there's a lot of the ego and I'm this, I'm that, or whatever, versus when I was watching guys like you guys, guys just kind of handled their business and did what they had to do, you know what I mean? So I think I'm more cut from that cloth,
Well, here's the thing. You embody a position, a very special position in the industry. That is the proverbial, BBC. Mm-hmm. And at any given point, there's like a hierarchy of big black cocks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're
There's only one king, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, like, look, I mean, as someone that reigned in my period,
oh yeah,
right? But then I was, then came Mandingo, mm-hmm. right, and Jack Napier,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that you have certainly wrested the crown from Mandingo. So it's something that there's a responsibility with that. You know what I'm saying? And this is on the real, you know, what we're talking about is you have the weight of a genre on your shoulders because you are, and that's the thing, you know, people take it for granted. We're getting paid, yeah, but there's a lot more to this than just fucking.
Right.
Dredd is in a position where people are expecting him to be the flagship of a whole genre of $1 billion industry. Now, of that $1 billion industry, what percentage of that manifests in the interracial market? Maybe 50, maybe greater than 50%. And you as the top BBC are beholden and charged with the weight of representing the whole genre for interracial.
Don't let the pressure get to you. What's your next scene?
But it's the truth. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And people need to realize, I mean, you know, there is a dynamic other than just fucking.
Yeah.
But I saw him in the scene, and it looked like you were going for it.
Yeah.
You weren't being a little. You were going for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I'm kind of as far as my style goes, man. I just try to deliver and put on a good performance. I mean, you know, that being said, people say, well, who were you influenced by? You know, who was, you know, the guy who you kind of honed your style from? And I'm not just saying this because it sounds good at the moment, but I always refer to this gentleman right here, man. This is the guy who, like, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for him.
And you know what? And I will also defer to Shawn Michaels as a person that I embodied and when I got started, you know, as certainly enough as someone that I sought to emulate.
Gotcha.
Coming in, and it's done well for me to go within that lane that Shawn paved. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
let's go.
Well, as the king, you know, once upon a time there was a guy named John Holmes.
Yes.
Right? So John Holmes, right?
Right.
From what I hear, you know, I talk to I know all the old people from the beginning. You might know some of them, but I talked to Jamie Gillis. You ever talk to Jamie Gillis?
I know him, but I never talked to him.
Right, anyways.
Some child.
So you had Jamie Gillis you ever heard of Jamie Gillis?
Oh, yeah.
Old school, right?
Yeah.
So he was kind of the leader of those days. Even he was higher than John Leslie. That's the people
Director of performance.
as a performer, as a talent, right? And John Leslie was up there,
Oh,
right?
yeah. He was another one who was one of my. But go ahead.
Great guy, wonderful guy. You worked for him a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
So there were these levels: Jamie Gillis, John Leslie. Those guys are close, but they always spoke about John Holmes, and so he's up this high. He's above these guys without a question.
Wow.
Right? So it's not even, he's in his own league, right? So now is that torch passed on to you? You know?
You know, man, it's tough to say. I mean, you know, in the field right now, it's so, I don't want to say chaotic, but it's just so far from what it was before. There's just so many different things working, but as far as size goes and, you know, a guy who's got the size and you could rely on and depend on, I guess so. You know what I mean? I'll take it and I'll carry it, but I just can't, it's hard to move forward without looking back and looking at some of the guys who influenced me heavily, man. You mentioned John Leslie. He was a guy who I used to watch when I was a kid, who whenever got my stroke game going and I reach back and hold my back, they say, where'd you get that from? Hey, John Leslie, holding his back, you know, I used to do it.
Yeah, that was great.
Classic move. So I think about all those guys and you know, if whoever comes up, you know, after me, because I don't know how much longer I'll be going, you know, I'm not, you know, these guys who are running around in their 20s, man, these whippersnappers, man, it's hard keeping up with them, you know, so, you know.
When you think about whippersnappers, remember you hear that when you were a kid? And now you got to say it to those guys. I don't want to be old.
Right.
How old are you?
48.
48?
Yeah.
49? 49?
No, 50.
50 now. When's your birthday? Oh, just recently?
Yeah, just past Thanksgiving
Oh, okay.
in November.
And I'm 51, 49, 50, 51.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, my work, when I first started shooting, even when I got back in 2015, the physical side of it, I never took seriously. It's only recently, within like the last year and a half, I've been, working on my body, the nutritional side, trying to eat right, exercise, working out. I've never been one of these in the gym 7 days a week kind of guys, but I'm in, right now, the best shape that I've been in ever
Let me ask
before.
this. Now, you also have been bi-coastal for a number of years.
Uh-huh.
So Florida is your okay, now do you still reside in Florida? Do you reside in LA?
I was born and raised in New York, and then I moved down to Florida early 90s, and, been down there up until about 2017. But I was doing the back and forth for a while, and I figured, something's got to give. I either got to just move out here, and, once it was established that I had some, and, people would always say to me, if you just move out here, you'll never have to worry about work. You could work for this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And I never really wanted to do that. I always wanted to just get situated with somebody I was comfortable with, somebody I liked, and ride out that way. And it just so happened to work out that way for me, with Jules Jordan.
Yeah, Florida's a cool place. I like it down there.
Oh, yeah.
But how do you like LA compared to Florida?
Man, it's different. I like it. I mean, I was never big on the humidity, down there. I mean,
But New York,
it's summertime. It's brutal, and I miss the East Coast. There's times when I really miss the East Coast, but something about LA, man, that I really love, man. I'm gonna try and stick it out here for as long as I can.
my people from New York, of course,
Oh shit, okay.
Brooklyn, Bronx.
Bronx right here.
Jersey.
Seriously, you can't fuck with LA, sorry.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They keep it 100, but
Yeah, right.
you got the mountains,
Yeah.
you got the beaches,
Yeah.
you got sunny weather. No rain like Florida. Florida has a lot of rain come through.
Surprisingly, you know that documentary Hookers at the Point on HBO?
Baby.
Yeah. Back in late 90s, they copied my Blackstreet Hookers.
Yeah, you know about the Hookers at the Point. Is at the point in the Bronx. And that was where I got to Hunts Point. You know what I'm saying? That's where, like the guy he started a video, owned this spot called The Wedge, Al's Wedge.
Damn.
And it literally is the wedge is the point of Hooker's Point, of Hunter's Point. So it literally is exactly where they shot the documentary about.
Oh shit.
It literally is the point of Hunter's Point.
Wow.
The wedge.
I'll add on to that. There was once upon a time an actor named Blake Palmer.
Whoa.
And they used to call him the Wedge. Yeah, a little tip, and his dick went about that wide. So split those girls open. But anyways.
Right.
So basically, Mandingo was, I thought, right, the biggest guy around.
Well, I mean, look, there's, you got to mention Jack Napier, Rico Strong.
But the biggest guy, who was the biggest guy? I only worked with Mandingo.
Look, what I'm talking about is beyond me. That realm that's beyond where I'm situated at. I'm talking about Rico, Mandingo, Jack Napier.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? That, of that, Steve Holmes, Chris Charming.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, man. No. Chris Charming.
I worked next to him, and maybe his dick wasn't fully hard, but
Right. I don't know.
it's not Mandingo.
Right.
Mandingo.
No, Mandingo's a whole different.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say.
But here's the thing about I'll say this. Jack Napier, and look, people don't get this wrong, us being able to discuss other men's anatomies. This is our business. This is like us talking about whether someone has a better hockey stick than I do if you're a hockey player.
Right.
What brand do you use? Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, boom. Well, such-and-such's got a great, if you're a boxer, he's got a real strong right hand. We're talking about the tools of our trade. but I always said that Shane Diesel.
Right.
I didn't work with him either. I didn't work with Jack or Shane.
Okay, so
or use them or work next to
so
them.
Dredd is the amalgamation of a Shane Diesel in breadth, in diameter, if you will,
right,
and Mandingo in length.
That's
that amalgamation would most illustrate Dredd.
Right.
So does he take the throne away from Mandingo? He's gone, I guess, right now, but I'm just wondering.
Well,
people got to wonder. Because Nina L put that in there.
Right.
But we got to take into account one thing. A lot of people don't know. When you get older, sometimes your dick does not get all the blood pumped into it like when you were 18 or 20 years old.
Sure.
But again, sometimes when you're an actor in the business like I was, and I did so many scenes, then your dick gets bigger because you're using it like a muscle.
Right.
So, but still when you get older, usually I would say it's not the same size.
Well, you know, if you give the time the capillaries to collapse, revert to their normal steady state, versus if you keep your capillaries expanded. If you keep your capillaries expanded, i.e. if you have erections more often, you're stressing the capillaries, which maintains a greater a quotient of quantity they could hold in the blood vessel. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying, right? So your heart's pumping, your brain's working because you like pussy 10 times more because you never really had it on average. But what I'm saying is, okay, Mandingo, Nina worked with Mandingo. She worked with you, and she said you were bigger than Mandingo. But my point on this was Mandingo older and now working as good as he might have once worked? I don't know. And you never worked next to him, right?
Never worked next to him.
I have. No, look, I will say this. One of the things we have to guard against TTBoy, as you know, obviously, this literally, everybody will agree TT's the greatest American of all time. Perhaps the greatest performer of all time, internationally. No, in my opinion, it's between TT and Rocco, right? You know what I'm saying? So TT's got American, number one on lock, like Michael Jordan. Like, you don't really question it. There's everybody else, right? But it's the notion that with Mandingo, do we say, hey, does Dredd have to live up to the tenure of Fred? Because, I mean, Fred Nice, a.k.a. Mandingo, had a tenure, a career, and are we putting too much weight on Dredd by saying you have to measure up, pardon the pun, to Mandingo, who's around for 15 plus years.
Well, that takes time, but I'm saying the size period. So this is for the people out there. Like, what is, are you the same size, is thicker than Mandingo? So you're the bigger guy, you're the biggest guy now, and that's it. That's what I'm wondering.
I think there are guys out there who
that work.
Yeah, right. But the thing for me that I take pride in is, and I get told this all the time, and it's not just the size, it's the operation of it. Like, I'm known to have a nice, solid, firm, hard on and keep it going.
That's a big deal, and you got huge size. That's
right.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but to your as a tribute to you, I will also I would be remiss if not mentioning that if you are exclusive to Jules Jordan Video, see what I'm saying? If you're holding it down for that brand, if he's investing in you, that says pretty much what needs to be said. He's not investing in old boy around the block. He said, okay, I'm gonna put my label on this dude.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Because before, with the Impaler, at the same time there was Mandingo's line with Jules. Wow. And then subsequent to those two lines, Dredd so I know what it's like to be the one to be like that he's putting his brand behind. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? But you get the best girls, but that's pressure too, because you're spending a grip on the chick. You don't want to blow all that money on the chick, so you got to put it with a dude that's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well, when I started shooting for him, Mandingo was still the Mandingo lines were there, and I was just happy to get in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was like, man,
it's rarefied air though, man. That's
Right. You know, people were like, man, you know, it's Dredd Mandingo, and, you know, creating.
There's room enough.
Yeah.
You found there was room enough.
There's room enough, of course.
Yeah.
But this is the life of the business, this mentality.
Right.
You know it. You know, John Holmes.
Right.
Like I said, John Holmes stood up. There was a guy, Dick Rambone, supposed to be a little bigger than John Holmes, but he couldn't get it going.
Wow.
Right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the facts. This is the nitty gritty for me. You know what I mean? I'm a porn connoisseur.
Right.
We go back.
Yeah.
We got a lot of years. You watch porn, so. When you're the king, you know, Mandingo is gone, so you have the throne now. I don't know.
Well, but
I don't want to disrespect Fred. I like him.
No, it's almost like there are eras of transition, and some of these eras overlap. You see what I'm saying? Right. As you know, it's not taking anything away from Mandingo. It's just a case of saying the premier BBC is Dredd and has been, and you know, certainly enough, as I said to myself, look, as I got comfortable with the fact that it was no longer myself. See what I'm saying? It allowed me to say, okay, look at it more objectively. But I will say this, and you might know him. There's one dude that's mythical, and you know what I'm saying? John Carlos. He used to shoot for Black.com a little bit and West Coast, but I think he fell out of favor with Black.com.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You know what?
Yeah.
Dude, man, I mean, look, you know, you and him. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe because he's he's not.
Correct.
You go like, what, about 6'4"?
6'5".
6'5".
Mm-hmm.
So boom. So Juan Carlos maybe 5'10".
Yeah.
If that might be generous.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I mean, I you know, he's the guy who, the size is there, you know. I've heard like, as far as the
veracity.
You're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've seen him, but, you know, I just kind of look at myself and you know, I try to keep it going.
Yeah, you can't really think about it.
You know, so I don't really get caught up in, because again, there's guys out there who are packing way more than me, but what I take pride in.
No. That is not the case. I mean, it's okay to be nice. You're amongst amongst men in this room right here. Like think about it. We're like 3 motherfuckers out of like a handful of motherfuckers that have ever done this shit.
Right.
Period. Not bitches, because there are thousands of bitches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies. I don't mean it like that.
Right.
I don't mean it like that. But as far as dudes, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to hold it down, man. And keep, you know what I mean?
But you don't be too nice. I mean, look.
Exactly. You don't want to be too nice.
It's hard to do what we do.
But this is a very interesting, idea that I always try to hold.
Yeah.
Right? Which is hard sometimes when you get a lot of love.
Yeah.
Stay humble, because the other side of non-humble, I think, makes you blind.
Yeah.
And that blindness can fuck everything up.
Right. Well, see, that's why, man, I try to, like, what's the saying, you know, speak softly, carry a big stick, you know what I mean? I see a lot of guys, again, with these proclamations of how I do it and what I am, and I've never been that dude, man. My thing has always been, here's what I do, check it out, and you guys, you know, make that.
I think that's a great idea, great way. Mm-hmm. But I'm still want to know who the king is. Did you think? You know what I mean? You're saying, Lex, you're not giving anybody the king stick? You're just going to say two or three guys?
No. I said that the Dredd is the reigning champion.
Okay.
I know that I can identify that, having been one myself. I'm simply saying that the transitions overlap. And as we transition okay, here's the best way to put it. As individual male performers transcend into legendary status, another is being ushered in as the eminent, prominent king of the BBC genre. And I believe as I ceded the throne, if you will, to Mandingo over a transitional period, the same can be said for Mandingo as Dredd transitions into the leading BBC guy, and Mandingo transitions out of that, whether it's because he still lives in Atlanta,
Right.
as raising a wonderful family with Obsession.
Right.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, remember
Whoa.
Obsession?
Yeah.
They're married.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're married
Wow.
with kids.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
He's raising a wonderful family, so perhaps he's not getting out in LA as often.
Right.
And that may have something to do with the fact that he's transitioning away. That doesn't mean that he's being ousted. It just means that we're in a transitional period.
Right.
Myself, I was, there was a number of injuries that I sustained that led to my transitioning away from being a preeminent BBC.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose to go away, quietly into that great after,
All right, so now we know. So he's the champ right now.
In my belief.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to know. That's all I want to let the people know. At this point in time, you have the belt.
Well,
you have the heavyweight championship belt.
Anyone who was with Jules was the reigning champion.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Jules is the kingmaker. Let's be frank.
Right.
If you're a Jules guy, then you are the guy. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Jules Jordan, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, you started in 2009, and the girls over there in Florida
Right.
had a rough time. So now you started back in 2015?
Yeah, there was a girl I was seeing who I met through the lifestyle who had known of me from the stuff I did years ago. And she used to always say, look, you got to get back in this, And I'd say, I'd be like, nah, it's done,
Feels good to get that recommendation from a chick, though.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. And we would go back and forth with this, man, for it seems like months, where she was like, you should be in it, you'd take control, this, and I was like, nah, it's over. And she said, well, look, it got to the point where she said, look, let me at least start a Twitter page for you. Because I had nothing. I wasn't active in social media at all. I didn't even know anything about Twitter, none of that. But she did. And she said, let me just start a page from you and, post some of your older shots from, 2009. And let's just see, how it goes. So I was like, all right, if you want to do that, knock yourself out. So she did it. And that's when shit started happening. Floodgates opened, And it was, in the beginning, it was slow. The same guys who I shot for in Miami, once they saw this, they said, oh shit, hey, we're starting a studio down in Miami, and we'll do these lines around you, and, it'll be like, the second coming.
Do you mind saying who the studios?
Yeah, it was, they went by, at first they were Hush. And then they went into, then it was like IR Pass or Hush Pass. So those were the guys who I...
Weren't like Reality Kings or...
It wasn't, no.
They were down there.
Yeah, no, I never shot for them. Bang Bros is down in Miami. But when I came back in 2015, those were the guys who had my interest because of what I had done with them in 2009. Mm-hmm. So they were like, they were saying they were going to do all these things and cater it all around me. So I couldn't turn that down. So I said, all right, we'll give it another shot. So now, going into this second coming, now I was ready. Now I was hungry. I didn't have that kind of thing of, oh shit, yeah.
Pressure, lead weight on your head.
Totally.
Head blood doesn't even pump through your head.
Oh yeah, no. This was a total different, I more had a, like fuck it, man. I'm going after it now, and that's what we did. So we just started banging them out. And while I'm doing that,
it's kind of like, I don't want to stop it, but it's kind of like you're a beginner fighter. So you did the amateur circuit.
Yes.
And now you're ready to become your first pro fight with, you can fuck them up because now you got the skills.
Right.
You're knocking people out in the amateurs. So that's how you feel.
Yeah, no, I felt it was a night and day difference from, then to 2009. So start doing that, and then I shot for these guys. I was doing that, and then I from one of the girls I shot with, a girl by the name of Kate England. She recommended me to Jim Camp with Dog Fart.
Dog Fart.
Billy Watson. Mm-hmm. And they went out to LA and did 2 scenes for them. And then one of those 2 scenes was with India Summer. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah.
India Summer, she's badass. And then India, from there, it was all word of mouth, put me in touch with Evil Angel, with Mark Wood and Francesca Lee. Yeah. And so now I'm shooting.
I did Francesca's first scene, by the way.
No way.
But anyways.
No way. So
she was hot too. Fuck. Anyways.
I
I never forget her because she was hot as fuck.
No, she still is, man. That fucking Bush. Oh my god.
I shot a scene with them. They came down to Miami. That was the first time I met them. And then we started a line of, dreads this, dreads that, and I loved it. So now I'm shooting that with them, doing the stuff with the guys in Miami. And here comes Jules. Jules says, "Hey, I'm seeing your stuff. I'm digging you. I'm seeing, I want to, get you and let's shoot some stuff." Of course, I knew about him, obviously, from the work he did with Lex, and that, in my mind, was like, damn, this is the call I've been waiting on. I'm there. So I start shooting for him while I'm still with Evil and those guys and the guys in Miami. And it just got to a point where Jules said, "Look, I want you to be exclusive with me on my team." And I said, "Well, just tell me when. When do you want to do it? As soon as you can." So unfortunately, I enjoyed shooting for Evil with Mark and Francesca, and I enjoyed shooting for the guys in Hush Pass in Miami. But I couldn't turn that down, So
the deal that you couldn't refuse.
Couldn't refuse that.
I mean, you can't beat that because you know what I'm saying. Because there's security with that.
Right. No, totally, man. And it wasn't even something that I had to really think hard about. One of the things that was so surreal to me was back, when I was still just watching it. One of the scenes that captivated me, man, was a scene you did with Ryan Connor for Jules.
Oh yeah, but Impaler number 2.
You just brought that name up earlier.
Yeah, I told you, right?
Big butt?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Big butt.
Oh my god,
Juicy
man.
butt.
Yeah.
And I watched that scene over and over. The Jules house. So it was so surreal when Jules said, "Hey man, I'm gonna get Ryan Connor to shoot."
Yeah.
And on the inside, I was like, "What the fuck? No way." On the outside, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool."
Look her up. Let's look her up.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's a master at this, man.
Twice in one day, I gotta check her out.
You gotta check her out, man.
It's but you know what I'm saying? It's like with Ryan, you're like, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, bro. And
now it's like, you want to give her a high five, like, "Yeah, we gonna do this today or what?" And she's like, it.
Man, brother. Man, I tell you what. When I walked in that day, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Ryan Connor.
When I walked in that
but
day,
no, check out her ass.
She's a MILF.
Yes.
She's a MILF.
You gotta see the ass.
Her ass.
Check the ass out. That's like Hall of Fame ass type stuff right there. But when I showed up on set to shoot with her, and one of the things, Jules, so meticulous with the outfits and how the girls look, she had on this like a pinstripe, skin tight cat suit. And I was just fucking blown away, man. I was like, man, today's gonna be one of those days, But I kept thinking about what the shoot that they did, and then I would just watch them interact and how they were talking. So that was that was something, something else for me.
Yeah.
But no, when Jules put it to me "Look, I want you on my team," it had to be done, And so I had to let them know, and they weren't happy about it, But I had to do what I had to do.
I mean, you don't mind if I ask, but what kind of deal is that? How many scenes a month? How many per year? And what's the numbers? Everybody's curious about something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't. I don't want to, give that kind of stuff away. But it was enough to where I didn't even hesitate, man. It wasn't even, and it was funny because I went back to, with Evil. They said, "Well, look, we can try to match that, or we could try," even though they weren't matching it. But they were, and in my head, I was like, well, maybe if you guys had come at me with that beforehand, maybe I would have gave it some more thought. You know what I mean? But Jules, the way he put it, it was a sound amount of scenes per month with an exceptionally high rate. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, and I couldn't even. And again, just the thought of shooting for him and continuing that line of him working with Lex and then him working with Mandingo for me. And when I first spoke to him on the phone, his thing was like, look, it was like, I'll put it in like a sports terminology. It was almost like, Phil Jackson, you know what I mean? Phil Jackson saying, hey, I want you on my team. When I've coached Jordan, I've coached Kobe, you know what I can do. You look at my ring collection. Yeah. So I didn't even think about it, Yeah. But it's been no issues. Everything's been great. We're going on about 2.5 years now.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Huh. So a lot of great girls. Ryan Connor was one of them.
Ryan Connor was, she was one.
Who else is hot these days? And
oh man,
2 years ago.
Oh my God! See, that's the thing with him. He always gets creme de la creme. You know what I mean? It's always a top of the line girls. Alina Lopez, Kiss of Sins, Jill Cassidy. These are names that are just coming out at me. Various, but all of them, upper echelon. You know what I mean? The kind of shit where when you get there, your mouth, you're ready. You know what I mean? And I like it because I'm shooting with him, and you kind of brought this up before, like with guys like when you were shooting and guys like Mendigo, these are guys who put in work. Like I haven't put in that kind of work. My schedule's always kind of been just enough to where I could deal with it. You know what I mean? So, it's a lot easier for me that way at this stage of the game, being in my late 40s. So, that being said, yeah, everything's been great.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah. Oh.
What about, the girl we're talking about?
Ryan?
No.
Oh. Well,
Angela White. Did you work with her?
Oh, yeah, a few times. Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jules, man. We shot one, and it was great because she's the kind of performer she is. And then I'm more impartial to the second one, which came out not too long ago. And he did what do you call those? Where it's just basically, it was like all these different scenes with her.
Exclusive with her.
Yeah.
Right.
It's slipping my mind, but it was incredible. She kicked ass and
like a deep inside.
Yeah.
Type of.
Right.
Yeah.
So she had like a blow bang. She had the gang bang. She had a scene Mick Blue. She had she did a double team with Jules and somebody else. I can't remember his name. And then she had a one-on-one with me. And I thought that was a great scene. Didn't get the kind of recognition I thought it would as far as the awards went. But just a phenomenal scene,
Because the second time around, her familiarity was there.
Yes.
And your comfortability level will be high with her. And
right.
It's fire risk.
Yeah, you gotta be comfortable. Sometimes.
Yeah. It's always the second time you work with a girl.
Yes.
And you're like, that's what with Ryan,
You know something? The first time it was the excitement, and we just clashed because she's that kind of performer that you gotta bring it. Yeah. You gotta bring it.
So I always want to know. I asked Lex earlier. I'm all about the goods, the walls. Do you understand that terminology?
Yes.
How are her walls?
She's great. She's what she lives up to the bill. She's nothing. The walls are phenomenal, performance-wise. She goes after it, and she puts that pressure on you, whether she knows it or not. She puts that pressure on you as a male performer to go, I gotta step up today. I gotta bring some shit today. So first time is just raw, like energy, and we went at it like wild animals. And then the second time, like Lex was saying, it was kind of more finessed, and I thought that was the better shoot. And it was just cool because she's sitting there and she's playing with her pussy and her big tits are out. Yeah. And I open these curtains, you know, and come in, my dick comes through the curtains and I open them up and we just thought, this is some crazy shit, you know, Jules. I said, oh man, this is great, you know, and it's just an awesome shoot. I thought it would have got more, you know, recognition. Not that I care about that kind of stuff, you know, the awards and all that, but I would have liked to have seen that, you know, get something.
Well, we all care about those awards. You know what I mean? I say motherfuckers piss me off a lot of times.
Yeah.
But still, it's nice to have those awards.
Yeah. It is.
Straight up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you got a wall full of trophies and awards. They're beautiful to look at.
Well, I mean, AVN,
No, I know.
they told me when I was nominated for Male Performer of the Year, and they said, man, you know, the last black performer to win it was him.
The only black performer to win it from...
Is that a fact? Oh, shit.
Yeah, the only black male or female has won performer. I won in 2000,
Damn.
2002, and 2003. And I think I'm tied as the only American. How many times did you win it?
Well, twice from XRC, only once from AVN.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, realistically, they
You
still...
won it every.
I would say...
You could have won it every year for about a 10-year straight run. That was funny. You could have. It was like, you know, they remember remember, you're old enough to remember Jordan when Jordan played. Remember, it was like how Jordan could have won MVP every single year, and they just couldn't give it to him every year.
Right.
Everybody knew who the MVP was. TTBoy was like that.
Damn.
Every year was like, well, male for year. Well, we know it's TT, but who's gonna get it?
Right.
So the 10-year run wasn't even a question.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's word though, man. Like everybody knew it was like,
Right.
okay. Well, there's TTBoy. So who they gonna give it to? And it was like everybody's running for second place. Like when Larry Bird, they said the 3-point shooting.
Right.
Guys just came in. Who's shooting for second place?
Right. Yeah.
You know, thank you.
No
Thank
doubt.
you know what I mean? I thought there was a few years, at least 3 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go all those, thank you. But I would say at least 3 years where they robbed me. You know what I mean? Because it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But that's life. But let's talk about that, because let's face the facts. If you're the king, right? If you're keeping your dick hard, you're putting passion down, you got the biggest dick, the girls are screaming the most, and you're bringing the communication with the girls to make them hot and come and all that, then who else should win the Performer of the Year? Realistically, kind of. That's always been kind of the idea, so what the fuck?
Well, look, I mean, for me right now, I'm older. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm happy just being in the position I'm in, to the point of where the recognition's there. People see what I'm doing. They're feeling it. You know, I'm down with that. So I never really. I think the first time when I was nominated and I didn't get it, it kind of, I was like, man, fuck, you know, shit. But the reality is, I mean, some of these guys, you know, this Manuel Ferrara's won it like 7 years in a row, and he's, you know, a tremendous performer. I mean, I kind of see it as maybe some of these guys are more versatile than me, obviously younger than me, and I don't really, you know, I have no ill will about it, you know.
We're just planting a seed in people's heads. You know what I mean? So they can understand. I mean, that I personally believe you're bringing a passion, and your dick is rock hard, and those girls are coming, and they're feeling you. You know what I mean? Because you're saying you're on point with Jules. You're making these girls come, and they're having a great time, right?
Yeah, the scenes are great.
Yeah.
The scenes are getting nominated, but as far as that individual, you know, performer, you know, no.
I've always felt that, you know, with the final list of nominees is like making all pro, right? We know sports, so like, you know what it means to be. It's one thing to make the all-star team, right? But those who know sport know that the list that really matters is what? It's the all-pro list, right? And if you're one of the nominees the night of the award show, that means you're all pro,
right?
See what I'm saying? So there's 5 dudes out of an available 300, and only one of those 5 can win. You're still literally, numerically, empirically, one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet at this shit, because you're in the top 5 in the United States, which is the leading country and producer of this media, and this media, mind you, is a billion game, and there's 5 motherfuckers, and you're one of them. See what I'm saying? So if you don't win, that's what I'm saying. You won it multiple, one time, but you could have won it 10. It's like, it's like you're still one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. And I've won, award at the Venus Award show, which is, like the Venus show is a global international show. And in 2004, I won Male Performer at the Venus show, which literally meant I was the baddest motherfucker on the planet, at least for that year, right? So it is a case where it matters, but just being nominated, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And one of the few black men that are nominated, when there's others that just didn't get the, how many times Shawn Michaels should have won.
Right.
Or Marcus, should have won.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels should have won.
Certainly.
Shawn Michaels should have won.
Wow.
Okay, Peter North should have won.
Whoa.
Peter North has never won Male Performer?
No, Peter North didn't win.
Yeah.
Mark Davis should have won.
Oh man, what the fuck? Who they
No, they give it to Jonathan Morgan. And I'm gonna say this. Okay, Tom Byron is a good performer, but when they gave it to him, I'm out doing sprints, 30 or 40 sprints a night. I'm shredded. I'm a maniac. Peter North is in great shape.
Yeah.
Mark Davis is in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Tom Byron can't keep up with us.
Yeah.
Sure the fuck can't keep up with me.
Right.
Not even with my, my Ford scene, he couldn't keep up with me.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
Wow.
I just disappointed.
I think it's gotten twisted since like years ago, man. Where we can speculate on, what it entails with who they decide, but
I'm gonna say a little something on that. The real truth is one of the big truths. Just like being the president, you have to be political. You have to, not like Trump is political, but in the idea of being a president. If you're a politician, I'm just going to give you that advice.
Right.
If you're a politician, you have a so much better chance of getting that coveted award. For me, that's the ultimate award.
I mean, I hear you, but conversely, and certainly enough in my own defense, I'll say this. When I won, the times I won were, the main reason was this. I was the point man in a number of productions and series that did exceptionally well in the market. I was everybody's go-to guy at that period, that year.
Right.
And therefore, I believe my winning had nothing to do with politics. It just so happened that all the great Gonzo movies of the period, I was the motherfucker that was like on the cover of it. See what I'm saying? So therefore, in some cases, it is merited. The merit is without question. I don't watch a lot of movies that the guy that won Small Hands. I don't watch a lot of movies that may include him because I watch a lot of either interracial or black on black. So he's primarily white on white movies. So I don't know, what who the man is right now. I know him personally, but I don't know his craft.
You know what? Let me know what you guys think about this. The guys, in my case, I only shoot for jewels. That's it. It's just solo act. Whereas everybody else who's nominated, these guys are, shooting from multiple places, different, coming at you from different angles. I don't know how much that has to do with it. I've had some people say to me, well, maybe it's because, you're only shooting for one guy. At the end of the day, I'm not losing sleep over it, but I was thinking maybe, that could have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, but whoever says that, you say, fuck you and fuck you. You know why? Because, you are that's what goes back to what I said before. What you are charged with, what you're obligated to do is facilitate the wood for the highest producing producer in the fucking business. See what I'm saying? He's not going to hire you if you can't bring the fucking grade A, right, capable of sustaining his brand, you wouldn't be there.
Right.
So don't ever let anybody say because you know what? everyone wishes that they could be exclusive to Jules Jordan.
Right.
You know what I mean? For that motherfucker to say, okay, I don't want you to shoot for other motherfuckers. You know what it was for me? Is I had people pull that battle was waged in rate. Whereas other producers would pay me escalating rates for me to work for them more often than those who would not pay that rate. Mm-hmm. The next level to rate-based exclusivity is be outright exclusive. And the responsibility for that is you're saying every time you work for Jules, he expects you to uphold the caliber of production that allows him to be number one.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And that was up until Black.com came. And even still through the existence of Black.com, you're still holding it down. Don't ever let anybody diminish. I mean, it's like on some next level shit,
right.
Man. It's like, it's like what? How many motherfuckers has there ever been men that were exclusive?
Right.
Very, very few.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
And even with, I know he had shot with he shot in other black, like Prince Joshua.
Yeah, Prince is very well formed.
Yeah.
But there's flagship. There's flagship.
Right.
See what I'm saying? There was Mandingo. There's the Impaler. There's Dredd. Mm-hmm. Not taking anything away from Prince.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not taking anything away from Prince is great. But I mean, you're talking about, master BBC here.
Right.
That's what we say when I say about, Jamie Gillis, John Leslie, you know what I mean? Paul Thomas,
PT.
They're there, you know what I mean? But after you're up another level or two levels, that's is the thought process of the people in the earlier days. Mm-hmm. John Holmes was at least one or two levels.
Because his performance or his size?
His size. But he performed good at a younger age. Mm-hmm. They say. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think... It was a new media then, fairly new.
Yeah.
So the idea and all the examples of those performers that might have come in great shape, and I heard he was a health nutritionist type of person, John Holmes, in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you don't have all these examples to be led by.
Yeah.
People in great shape, great cardio, strong, and can keep their dick hard.
Right.
A lot of times, I know this to be a fact, that if you lift too much weights, your blood goes into these parts of your body, and your dick cannot get that blood. It's like they're vampires. So, a lot of times before the enhancements today, people that had muscles rarely, a lot of, heavy-duty muscle, rarely could really sustain. When you get hot, the blood and the lactic acid, everything gets trapped in your dick.
It's not disappear. A priority with your body sends it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Man. So anyways, the thing is that we're talking is that John Holmes had the throne. Right. You know what I mean? And so Prince Joshua is good, but then the king is the king.
I mean, I think maybe if you look at John Holmes, comparatively speaking, I would say Rocco was the next great white male performer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Conversely, if you're looking at the first great black male performer, great in terms of crossover appeal on the next level was Sean. Mm-hmm. There was many, but certainly not there's many before, but Sean became the go-to guy, right? And he paved the way for everybody thereafter.
He had to have come into the game. You guys remember FM Bradley?
FM Bradley, Ray Victory.
I knew FM.
All them guys, man.
Yeah. Wow. He's a cool guy, and I knew Ray. I knew Ray a little bit better than FM.
Wow.
But me and Ray worked together twice, side by side.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Well, so it was like them, and then Sean came after.
Sean came. Yeah. Sean, like I said before, with Sean, we go way back to '89. He eliminated everybody.
Damn.
He sent them packing. All the black actors in those days, Shawn Michaels pretty much
Ron Hightower
sent them packing.
Wow.
I mean, but Ron can't compete with Shawn Michaels. Nobody can compete with Shawn Michaels. Yeah, right. Ron Hightower, Jay Steed, Julian St. Jacques, then Marcus came, and and then Byron Long came after that.
It was back then.
Damn.
You know, I know exactly when everybody came.
Jake, obviously.
Jake came at the same time as me, a few months before me. Me and Jake were tight, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but, you know, Shawn Michaels had it all going on. And, you know, I was there. You know what I mean? The girls in those days, a lot of them were prejudiced or racist, whatever you want to call it, right? Shawn Michaels is so smooth, right? You know, and he would be there, like, I think I might have said to you, I don't know, but it was like magic, right? These girls would just talk to him for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And they'd be like, okay, I'll work with you. Or he'd fuck him and they'd be like, I love you, right? So Shawn Michaels really did a lot of hard lifting.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I mean, like, not for nothing. You know, there's a lot of, you know, people say, oftentimes used to ask me about the existence of racism in the business, you know, and they're shocked when I tell them that I had very, very few experiences of direct evidence of something that was bigoted or racial.
Right.
And I said that the only reason because of that is because, like, a lot of that shit was hammered out before I came around. Like Jake Steve and Mr. Marcus and Sean are the guys that I know personally did all the heavy lifting.
Right.
Shawn did the most heavy lifting.
Damn.
You know, Shawn, I was there, watched. Jake is my good friend, you know?
Yeah.
He got away with looking Puerto Rican. Sometimes, yeah, they said, no, you're black, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on average, you know, they're going to pass him off at almost. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? I was there on all the sets. I mean, if you ask Julian St. John, he'll tell you that I was on every set that ever was produced. Except for Anabolic, because Chris was jealous that I eliminated him. Right, but anyways. But that's not. I sent a lot of people packing. I mean, I worked with Anabolic one time, right? You know the company?
Yeah.
Or twice. I came there working with these guys, and I'm smashing them into smithereens. Everybody from Tom Byron, whoever's in my way.
Right.
Right?
Wow.
On stage, whatever, everything.
Damn.
And I don't think nobody could ever handle that.
Wow.
That's just the way it was.
I
But
mean, well, Chris, if you fell out with Chris, then, you know, that was his, you know.
we had a boxing match, and I beat him in the boxing match, and I.
Well, then forget about it. Then why was he gonna hire you?
Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
So
He was like, fuck this guy. But you got your own shit. I mean, look what you built your own, you know,
no, I mean,
empire. You know, like.
I'm just a lucky guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Worked hard, but I'm lucky.
You worked for your shit, man.
Yeah, nobody gave me shit, but.
Right.
But anyways, back to that. So Shawn was great.
Yeah.
Shawn is great. He's got 31 years. You know, he was on a show, and he's amazing.
Still going.
I think he just turned 62.
62, yeah.
Yeah, 62. So, I mean, he's incredible, right?
Right.
I got a lot of love for him.
Yeah.
But Julian St. John was a good performer those times. Jake, and then Marcus. You know, yeah. But then Byron. But we talk about real stellar performers.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was the 90s. And then you came, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you took time to get warmed up, right?
No. You know, like, when I came in, you know, I was taken under the anabolic and diabolic wing, primarily anabolic, and then diabolic later. But, you know, brought onto that squad, it was a different time when companies had teams of guys that they hired frequently, albeit almost exclusive, but non-exclusive. But the majority of your time was spent with one company.
Yeah. Go to somebody hires you all the time. It's easy.
Yeah, and when Anabolic was at the time when Anabolic was shooting a monster amount of scenes, and they were like the Yankees. They were like that period, late, no, not early, but say mid to late 90s. They were like the Yankees or Manchester United.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was the squad. Like you said, you know, once Jules picked you up, it was off to the races. For me, you know, I bombed the first time I shot for Anabolic, right? But what happened was they said, hey, you're a cool guy, stay for dinner. And I stayed for dinner with Chris and Sue, right? And by the end of dinner, they were like, look, Lex, we'd like to give you a second chance to shoot for us. Now, this is the company I wanted to shoot with my whole life. I grew up like, oh my God. You know, Anabolic, wow, the Yankees, right? I bombed the first time, right? and they gave me a second chance, and they were the ones that groomed me. And you know, you mentioned Mike John. You had Mike John on your show. Well, Mike John, you know, people know he taught me how to shoot camera and direct. But what people took for granted is Mike John was the first to actually introduce my personality as much into the scene as my physicality. And that really created the foundation for Lex and Steel as a guy that people like because he shot me from the shoulder up.
Right.
And I got to wild out and show personality. And I think that is much of a testament to my popularity as my performance.
You want to know something? That's one of the things that Jules was like adamant about when I started shooting for him. Because prior to me shooting for him, when I was with Evil, the focus was on the dick.
Yeah.
The dick doing its work. And I remember Jules was like, you know, like you said, waist up, you know, getting a lot of that kind of footage in. And I think that helped as far as like getting my personality out more. You know what I mean?
But we have to acknowledge this, Lex, that when you first start, maybe you had a little, you know, training ground on the lifestyles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on average, like you were stating earlier, when you first started, your personality develops as the time goes on, as you're a performer. You get more confident. You start realizing what you can't do, who you are.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So you develop into Lexington Steel, you develop into a Dredd. It takes a little time, but you were started a little bit older, so maybe you knew yourself a little bit.
Okay.
But when you're younger.
Okay, no, and TT, you're right, because I took for granted when I said that when you asked me, did I hit the ground running? In actuality, I started doing lifestyle and amateur stuff in '96. So I was already used to people watching me fuck with a camera in their hand. Although it was lifestyles for free, it was amateur. So yeah, by the time I got to LA in '98, I had 2 years of performing before I got to LA. So yeah, that's what helped me hit the ground running, is I had been used to and cool with the camera being 2 inches away from my body. And that comfort level allowed me to hit the ground running.
So do you feel like you developed into somebody different from that, you know, point in time when you started, or you think that you were the same person right when you started? Not the 2 years of amateur, but you know.
Well, I was the same person. I think that I had to get my skill set up.
It's like fighting. You'd become a better fighter.
But you got to become a better fighter first.
Yeah.
Right, because the thing about it is, like, you know, I kept my mouth shut until I became, you know, a more sound within myself, where I could talk shit while and then make you laugh, and then be able to do that while fucking. If you look at people, go back to Jake Steve's a series called Monsters, right? We
Big black monster dicks, little white chicks.
We were joking around. We were literally falling apart while fucking, but everybody was so good that we could be laughing our asses off and still putting in work. You know what I'm saying? That's, you want to get to the point where you could, but you got to get to the point where you can allow your personality, because your craft has got to be strong.
And you're at, you know, like you said, you felt the pressure, you failed. Yeah. You felt the pressure. You're failing. So when you start, it takes time to get your groove. Yep. It could take a year, 2 years, even on the big league, right? Because you said, now you're in the big league on my show, remember?
It was easier, not easier, but it's different back in the day because there was no social media. Now word traveled fast in the late 90s. If you didn't have a good day, people would know, like, but now can you imagine what it's like now?
Wow.
Well, like, even before you leave
instantly.
The premises, someone's like, I just had a bad day on set with Lex. Yeah. I ain't got my car yet.
But on that point, kind of. On that point, yeah, that's a great point. But on another point, if you were in the 80s like I was, how it's almost the same, right? Because there's only a handful of directors, a handful of productions, and they say, what about that guy?
Yeah.
Nope. So you'll never work ever. You never get a chance unless they think you're a great actor.
Right.
Oh, we got the next to him. Sure you do. Right. Then you can work. Then they'll make an exception.
Right.
Anyway, so.
But then, okay, let me ask you this. Because you have always been 100% performer, 0% failure rate, did that make your schedule to the point where sometimes you were like, oh shit, man, I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, twice on Friday.
Sure.
Have you ever felt like, damn, I've bitten off more than I can chew, or what? You know?
No, because I'm a crazy maniac. So when I would book out my schedule, 2 scenes, 3 scenes a day, 6 days a week, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
Then I would be running around and they'd be calling me. I'll be on the set, so I'd be grabbing a 4th, a 3rd, and a 5th scene.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
So once in a while, when the girl, scratch your dick, or the sand, or the hair, and all those hours. Sometimes, I was having sex for 14 hours a day.
Shit.
Sometimes your dick's getting a little worn and callous, and your sensitivity is gone. And I'm going, damn, this is getting a little hard. And I don't want to work with the girl, and she shat on me, 3 days in a row. Then I'll be like, you know what I mean? I'll be like, and there's, some punk there hating on me, and there's other punk. Right, they're looking at me. Then once in a while I feel something, but I have a great focus.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, but realistically, I wanted to work.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to work, and I just wanted to work. And I was so happy to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I got in, years ago, in the 20s, 30s, you know what I mean? Because
What?
you said I got
2019?
Yeah, you're strong.
No,
Your youth.
Right.
I was 28 when I started.
Shit.
How old were you when you started?
Oh, man. So
30s.
30s. Let's see, 48 now. Yeah, late 30s.
Yeah.
It's like you're stronger. You know what I mean? When you're younger, that's the fact.
Yeah.
I can still do 3 scenes a day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Because it's about you.
Yeah.
It's about Dredd. I like to know because, I kind of wish I had a 12-inch dick. I'm sure you got a 12-inch dick probably, right? 12, 13-inch dick. He's saying 10, but if you're the same size or bigger than Mandingo, there's no way in hell Mandingo's 10 inches. That's like a fucking joke, right? I work side by side with Mandingo.
Yeah, I know how big my dick is. I worked next to Indigo. I was like, all right, yo, yeah, got it.
Right? So,
you the man.
I'm a competitive guy. You know what I mean? That's why I did good in the business. But I would always wish I could say, hey, baby, it's 12 or 13 inches. What do you say? Right? So that, because I heard girls in the hood talking, oh, yeah. I'm like, God damn, motherfucker. Because, the girls say, oh, yeah, you got a big dick sometimes, whatever.
Yeah.
But, the people want to know, right? I would want to know, right? When did you first show your dick to a girl? How old were you, and what was the look on her face when you gave it to her hand, her mouth, or her pussy?
Okay, well, like I said, I grew up in the Bronx, off Gun Hill Road, right? I thought everybody was packing like I was packing. I thought it was just a common thing. Didn't realize it. Girls that I got with, there was no awe, there was no, oh shit, look at what, none of that. Until
What?
Yeah, no, that's the truth. Until I didn't realize it, man. Until later on, college and shit. I'm like, all right, I got some shit here. You know what I mean?
What kind of girls were out there, man?
But man, I tell you.
But we tell them, Trey, you gotta tell them though, within the African American culture, there is a lack of attention predicated upon dick size because it's almost like the assumption that every brother is packing. So we don't necessarily take notice of anybody else's. Therefore, we're not comparing ourselves to someone else.
Right. So
therefore, the assumption is that everybody else is like myself. So then it removes the need for there being an attention factor drawn to it.
That's the truth. I put it this way: when I got into the porn in 2009, I knew by then, but it was really the lifestyle, man. That was when I was getting with these couples and they kind of knew the word was out, man, this guy, he's packing. And that was I whipped that shit out. And they're like, oh my God, man, that's getting shit. So that's really when it shifted. It started then and continued from that point on. But when I was younger, I didn't even.
What about college?
I just went to a college in Broward, in Florida, Nova Southeastern. I played a little basketball there, man, a little bit. And it was at that point when I was seeing girls when, you know, I was like, damn, your shit's kind of thick. It's kind of long, you know?
Once you start to mess with girls that are from different parts of the, you know, the state or area or country, then you're getting different opinions, right? If you got a girl that's regional or in your own area, but then you got a girl from Western Kentucky, from New Hampshire, and they're all saying the same thing because in their area, they ain't seen nothing like that.
Seen nothing like that, right?
And then you're like, okay, that's like for me. It was when I got to college, you know,
right?
Because I got no pussy in
Syracuse, you said, right?
Yeah,
Syracuse one, yeah.
Morehouse and then Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, people would say to me, shit like, well, you mean like in high school you didn't realize it? And I'm like, you know, I really wasn't fucking around like that back then.
Nothing in high school.
Yeah.
All right, come on, man. This, you know. you want to know, you look like a little bit Giancarlo Esposito. You know that? People say that sometimes?
I've heard that.
Right.
I've heard that.
Anyways, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've heard that.
He seems cool. He's on the new show with Forrest Whitaker, right? That's a badass show.
The Mandalorian.
The what?
He's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And he was Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's the voice of documentaries. People don't realize he does more documentaries than anybody.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
His way he speaks is like perfect.
Yep.
First it was Earl Jones, right?
James Earl Jones.
And now he's got it. You're saying, okay. But anyways, come on, man. This is really hard for me to believe. That you, how old were you the first time you had sex?
16.
16.
Yep.
The girl was?
Same age.
16?
Yeah, same age. And matter of fact, she may have been 1 year older. And it was, I think, that I was like struggling. You know, we fucked around in the park. You know, so there was no oh shit, the size. She handled it, and we kept it moving after that, man.
So she obviously had to be really wet.
No. Perhaps at 16 you didn't come into your own, if you will.
That's true too.
Like for me, like, you know, it's easy for us to communicate because we have some very similar experiences. Once I came into my size, then it was an issue. But like my first time was at 17. And at that point, I was at 6.5 inches. So she at 17, she had no problem with it, right?
You say you were 6.5 inches?
At 17.
Wow. Yeah, the dick's still growing.
So like, you know, so by the time, so if she'd fucked with me 10 years later, she'd have saw an additional 4 inches or more.
Whoa.
Damn.
By then. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, so at 16, you know, she may have got Dredd as we know Dredd today.
In his 20s or late 20s.
Right. She had you now, she's probably like...
But is that true? Is that how you feel? Maybe?
Yeah, as far as like it grew since then up until... Yeah, I think so. That's safe to say. That's true. Yeah.
I could agree probably, yeah.
Right. I mean, like, even like as men, we get our man weight. See what I'm saying? You know,
20 or 21.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine when Zion Williamson gets his man weight? The basketball player? You know, okay, Zion Williamson, right?
He's like, I know.
Like, once he gets his man weight, forget about it.
Yeah, he's bad.
He's gonna be unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's an interesting facts, right? Yeah. That's kind of new discovery.
Yeah.
Kind of, right, when you say that. Yeah. And I'm sure I probably was similar. You know, I didn't get 10 inches, you know what I mean? But
so I'm assuming when you were in high school, you were probably banging away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was banging away at 12 years old.
Goddamn.
First girl I fucked her for 4 hours. She tapped out. She sent me to her girlfriend's house, and I fucked her.
Shit.
Right, but anyways, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a different guy. I don't know, but so that's interesting. So. You first time was 16.
Yeah.
Did you ever? You sound like you like the girls. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a difference in mentality. I would say maybe 4 levels. Okay, I like girls. Oh, I like girls. Oh, yeah, I really like girls.
Yeah. Right.
You're a maniac, right? There's different levels of liking girls. What level would you think you are? And when did you notice that you're a guy who might like girls like you're going to tell me?
You know something, man? I'm at that high level as far as the liking, the level 4. You know what I mean? And I've always been at that level. I've always had that inner freak in me. Always been there. I haven't been able to really show it in my earlier years, you know, because like I said, in high school, I wasn't really fucking anything. You know, and in college it increased. But again, I was turned on to porn at a real young age, so I always had that in me. So the fact that, you know, now, late 30s, 40s, I'm doing this, it's a blessing, you know what I mean? So, like, you know, I have it at that high level. I'm desiring some pussy, you know, I love fucking girls in the ass, all that shit. So, yeah, no, it's still a high level, man. It hasn't slowed down at all.
But you're that guy who looked at the girls. When did you first look at a girl's ass? I mean, are you an ass guy, tit guy? Ass guy. You look at, I mean, you know, we gotta kind of think about this. It seems to me like over the years, the girls don't want to show what they once loved to show sometimes. And when I was at school, which is close to you guys' school, my girls, a lot of girls wore tight stuff.
Right.
You see the pussy popping out, the ass,
right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you can really see it at the same time.
Yeah.
So when did you first see some girl pulling those jeans, showing her ass off, you know what I mean? When you, like 10 years old, how old?
No, man, for me, it's the famous story. 7 years old, getting into my parents' room when they weren't there, discovering my father's stash, you know? He had some good shit back then, you know what I mean?
Hustler, high society, or porno?
No, he had like that underground shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, he wasn't even dealing with Hustler or Playboy, none of that. He had like black market shit that was raw and just these vivid, clear, you know, explicit shots that at that age, just processing it. So I was stuck. I remember I was with my brother and my sister. We got to my parents' room and we were all just looking for shit, you know what I mean? And I found the stash at 7 and never forgot that, man, you know what I mean? And carried that all throughout. So now when I'm looking at women, they didn't even necessarily have to be in the tight shit showing. My mind was already there, you know, like it was like X-ray, you know, those glasses you would see on the back of comic books back in the day, X-ray vision, like you could, what color panties is she wearing, you know? But how much bush does she have? You know, what's her asshole look like? That's the shit I was on at a young age, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what you're saying as far as the material, because I never seen something like that. So, are you saying a magazine? Are you saying images?
Yeah, it was magazines. He had magazines in a shoebox, and I went under the bed, pulled out the box, opened it up, and I was stuck from there on. I'm looking at it, and again, at that age, processing it, but I knew even at that young age, it was doing something to me that I really liked, you know what I mean? So,
was this black girls, white girls, all girls?
Mixture, from what I remember, all different kinds of girls.
I really was similar, you know, very similar. 6 years old, I still the magazines, right? My father would get done with them and throw them out. I'd collect them. They'd be in the trash. I'd collect them all. Right? But anyways, I used to sit there at the pussy. Oh, I'm gonna have one day, you know, for myself. But you know, like what? Because I know the magazines. You know, I mean, we can go down the We, High Society, Hustler, Penthouse, Blacktail.
Those and Pirate.
Pirate. Oh, that's like.
Damn.
Yeah? I don't even know that one.
Wow.
Private.
Oh, Private. Oh, I know Private. I think it said Pirate.
Magazine. Well, the magazine came out as Pirate.
Oh yeah, but Private is a little bit
No.
toward the 90s,
Pirate
right?
Would be able to see what Pirate Video is based on Pirate the magazine. Pirate the magazine was the magazine version of Private.
Private. Okay.
The
Hardcore.
Oh my god.
Hard.
Yeah.
Like high quality paper.
Right.
Vivid coloration, man.
Saturation's just so nice. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had to buy it first. It was like.
Oh, it was expensive too, right?
$35. Damn.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying because I was at.
Good shit. Yeah, man.
That's above my level, right? What was going on at that point in time, but.
Yeah,
But I know there's those one magazines that had cum shots on them and everything.
Hustler.
Those were expensive. Hustler never had anything.
No, Cherry, Swan.
No, they never had anything. But those were magazines that.
High Society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are those the ones you had? Do you think?
Well, no. Well, see, what I found in my father's stash, they weren't like club or anything like that. He had access to like some underground shit that was like really exclusive, hard to get. Yeah. He was, the way he was rolling, man. But then that's where it started, and then it went into like the Cherry and Club and.
I love Club, right? Club seemed like good images,
right.
yeah.
That got me through like my teenage years.
Yeah.
That got me through like my teenage years, looking at shit like that. So, and then it just continued from that, then onto video, watching people like Vanessa Del Rio and Seika, and then there's Ginger Lynn and Buffy Davis and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. The magazines are fucking great. People will never have that feeling again. What? It's not the same on a screen, I don't think.
Right. I like pictures. I like stills.
Yes.
No, but in the magazine, right? Isn't it? You like it on screen?
Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate the magazines. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's something feels more tangible. It feels more personal.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, I think like
it's My Little Pussy. You know what I mean? The screen seems not the same.
And it just seems like now it's like just an overabundance of it, man. It's like just everywhere. You go online, it's nothing like it was. It was like a special time, like back then. Like if I had a friend who would come over with a magazine, check this out, man. I start looking at, oh shit, all right, let me borrow it for a little while. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Those days are.
The mystique is long gone. That's why the 80s was fucking mysterious, man. When I got in, it was crazy.
Wow.
You could there wasn't that much going on, you know what I mean? And I'm a fucking guy in nowhere land, and I make it into the fucking mysterious, crazy underground porno. John Holmes just died, right? Porno just became legal.
Damn.
And here's everybody, right? I'm like, I'm here. Fuck.
Damn.
The pressure, is more then because it's smaller and there's film, big sets, but anyways, it's unbelievable. I love the porno. You love porno and you make it. It's so small and so mysterious, but the mysteriousness is gone, right? It's gone.
And it's crazy because it has a lot to do with the advent of video versus film, right? You came in an era where a lot of it was shot on film. So that's a sensibility of movie making that is non-existent in the age of digital, digital capture, where it's like anybody can do it. There's less of a nuance to it. See what I'm saying? So it was more challenging because you could waste film. Now you could do digital. You could just.
You couldn't waste film. You mean?
You couldn't waste.
You couldn't waste it.
My bad. Where now digital. There's pros and cons.
Let it shoot.
The thing about it is what also is the case now is digital is more unforgiving. See what I'm saying? Where with film there could be a softness that could allow a person's beauty to be accentuated because it was on film. Now digital is like, you can see it's in Blu-ray, it's in 4K.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You can see every, blemish or skin imperfection, making it more challenging for today's talent. So it's, it's cyclical in terms of things go in a circle where it's not so bad now, but back in the day it was more challenging. It's not so bad then, but now it's more challenging. So it's just,
Yeah.
Well, the perform to keep your dick hard in front of you're not in a lifestyle, you already felt the pressure, and it's not as mysterious, right, in 2009. And it's not as mysterious in 1997, 96, 98, but it is a little bit.
What's that?
A little mysterious, but not really, when you started.
What is?
The mystique of porno is still there, but not as much as it was 8, 9 years before.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, it
was there already.
East Coast Video Show existed, AVN had been, so it was cracking.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't so underground, so mysterious.
No, it was above. It was.
So it's a different feeling, when you're performing. I can tell you because I'm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's different. It just was different. There's not that many people, so it's a little small. But anyways, let's get to this part because you're a porn, fan, right?
Sure.
You're a porn fan.
Oh, certainly.
And I'm a huge porn fan of the time when we're same age.
Right.
This is a big deal, you know what I mean? We can talk about some of the girls, right? And some of the guys. I'm not gay. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But I can appreciate a solid performer with a personality.
Yeah.
An actor, performer, somebody that brought something to the table. So I appreciate all the good people from the business.
Right.
You know what I mean? The bad people, we don't talk about them, or we can, whatever. But let's talk about some of the black girls, right? Because I, had a lot of love. Let's go down the list. We talked about it before a little bit. In yours,
Okay.
Well,
Nina DePonca. Remember her?
okay. The name definitely, vaguely, but
Light skin,
Puerto Rican looking.
Puerto Rican looking, like kind of like.
ebony eyes.
You want?
Yes, titties. Yes, areas.
Here's the fucking thing. Ebony Eyes. I was supposed to work with her my first scene,
No shit.
and she canceled.
Damn.
Because I think she was just getting out. She said, I think that's her last. She said, no, I'm done. Something like that.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck. And I had this old, not so old, but anyways.
Yeah.
The girl I worked with. So it wasn't,
Right.
I missed her,
Right. Damn.
unfortunately.
I always had a thing for her. Always. I think everybody did.
The big ass titties,
Oh,
and they were
man.
natural too. What?
Yeah.
He's a tit guy.
Yeah.
What kind of guy are you? You said you're an ass guy?
Ass guy, yeah. Ass guy. But she had it all going on. And then I think like after her,
Well, yeah.
trying to think.
I'll roll him down for you, no problem.
Okay.
Angel Kelly.
Remember her.
That's mine.
Remember her.
Not a big ass, but sexy is so.
Slot for her.
So, that's the reason
On
I.
social media now too.
Yeah, she's.
It's actually her, yeah. She's actually her too.
So, all right, Purple Passion. It's kind of slim.
Of course.
That's,
Yeah,
She had a nice package, nice small D cup, maybe a big C.
Purple Passion? No, she has small. She has small little
Small?
breasts.
Okay.
Bees.
They were that small?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I took her, we chilled.
right.
Yeah.
Mauvais de Nord.
Oh my God.
Yeah!
Damn, bro. Pulling some shit out there, man.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
See, a little thick, dark skin,
Yeah.
fat ass pussy, which I fucking love the fat pussies.
Right.
I got a quick little story on that. I was with Dominique, we were together for a long time.
Wait, tell him Dominique.
Dominique Simone, And
I gotta qualify.
so I had seen Mauvais in a movie because I was tight with Western Visuals who had Blacks and Blondes, the original, right? You remember Blacks and Blondes possibly?
Yeah.
So Western Visuals, the guy got me in the business, Elliot Siegel. Anyways, they gave me the movie. I was watching Mauvais. Fuck. So one time we're in Frisco, Dominique's featuring, and Mauvais there, and we take her home. And I have to tell you, that was some beautiful pussy.
Damn.
Anyway, she was as good as she looked.
Shit.
Yeah, the two one with Dominique and
Anyway.
yeah, nice.
Well, you liked her. She was sexy, right?
Yeah. I remember her.
Nice.
I remember her.
All right, here's a girl that I fucking look at and I say, fuck. Sahara.
I remember her too.
Yeah, her face for me.
Man, you know these skinny, small.
Yeah, that's what, was going on. Besides Ebony Eyes, and Mauvais.
Champagne.
Who?
What about champagne?
Champagne is way later.
I'm just saying.
We're going to bring her up. We're talking the 80s.
All right.
Wow.
And there's a,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, who else we got in the 80s?
Oh
It
man.
was pretty much the run of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Heather Hunter came in late 89.
Oh my God. Yeah. Remember her? I had a thing for her, man. Always had a thing for her.
She was good. She was sexy. She still looks good online.
Damn.
'Cause she,
How many times you shot with her?
4 or 5, I think.
Okay.
I talked to her the other day, and she said that we shot in Hawaii or something. I can't remember. The scenes blur. I did
Right.
a lot of scenes in a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Probably 3,000 scenes,
Wow.
but in a fairly small amount of time. But she was great. I remember she was fucking great. Hey, you shot with her with a condom?
Her last scene, her very last scene.
With a condom.
Yeah, it was with the condom.
You guys talk, 'cause I'm going to make us some pizza. You look hungry. You hungry?
Yo, let me get do you have any?
Yeah.
Heather Hunter, man. God, I remember her, man.
I mean, I love Heather, man. She is a little, she's petite,
Yeah.
and I like them big, I'm talking like, remember Vanessa Blue? No, really?
Vaguely.
What about Kitten?
Yes.
Remember Kitten?
Remember Kid?
Oh, man.
Damn.
She was awesome.
Wow.
And let me tell you something.
Damn.
Her pussy was impossibly great.
Wow.
It was, like, her pussy was fabulous.
Oh shit.
Where you're literally like, what the fuck is inside of your body, right? I always enjoyed working with her. She wasn't skinny. I don't like skinny girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more on with you on that, man.
Yeah.
Give me some thighs, give me some ass, and I'm all over that shit. But going back in the day, shit, I was Vanessa Del Rio, man.
Yeah, I really wish I could have fucked her at some point. In some way, somehow, some universe.
I wish I had her. I wish I had fucked Ginger Lynn. I wish I had fucked Christy Canyon. I mentioned Buffy Davis earlier.
Yeah, let's talk about some more of those 80 girls, because you're talking about, those are 90 girl you showed me, right? I think.
Yeah, 90s, yeah.
Because Ginger Lynn looked crazy, looked unbelievable back then, but Tracy Lords, what about her?
Oh, yeah, that's a given. Yeah, for sure. Tracy Lords was dope.
There was a girl named Danielle, a blonde, had a firm body. She had a fat ass pussy. You remember her?
Yeah, vaguely.
Vaguely. There was a Stacy Donovan, a beautiful blonde.
Yeah.
Right?
God damn.
Right?
Blonde, bro.
Blonde. She was tall. Stacy Donovan was like a model, right? We had Lily Marlene, right?
Wow.
You had Nina Hartley.
Yeah.
Kind of. She was in the late 80s or mid 80s. Yeah, she's mid 80s. You had Taja Ray.
Yes.
Remember? She was sexy, but she had some body.
Yeah.
She had an ass on her, right?
Yes, she did. I haven't heard that name in a long time, bro. Taja Ray.
Bad. She was. I love the way she looked. What about your girl, Kate Parker? Kate Parker.
The big ass titties.
Yep.
Natural. She's like the original MILF.
And
God.
Amberlynn.
Oh yeah. Amberlynn. You ever fucked Christy Canyon?
Yeah.
You, Lex?
She's the New Brothers.
Oh shit.
No.
Sean knows her.
Oh.
Shawn Michaels knows her.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Christy Canyon never did.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha.
Right. Christy's so nice. I mean,
I'd like to meet her, man. I never met her.
You talked to her a few times, Christy? She's so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of the girls that I say, are you really that real? Because she's so nice, and she is.
Right.
She's so sincere, so it's hard to find people that sweet, you know?
Yeah.
So you have, what about the sexy, this girl had the fattest pussy and a hard body, Blondie.
Oh God.
Remember her?
Oh, I got.
Fuck, right? She was with Tony Montana.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, Tony Montana. Right. Yeah.
But she had that. She probably did, I think, the most magazines in those days because of her body. I mean, I think. This was before I got into business.
Right.
But you remember her?
Yeah. I remember her.
I don't know.
Well, one of the things, man, that's going on now, which I can't stand. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on this or not, but I'm all for girls bettering themselves, whether it's facial procedures, tits, whatever. But the ass shit is getting out of control, man. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing when it gets to the point where it loses its natural shape. You know, now you got some. Do they have more ass? Obviously, yes, but it almost has like a box effect. It loses that natural,
I myself, unless the girl's tits are down to the ground, do some squats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not into the plastic. Never was.
Wow.
Never. Especially for an ass. You want your ass. The first time I saw an ass job was 2001
Shit.
in Venezuela with Franco Roccaforte. Right? We're in Caracas and we shoot this girl and I'm like, what's those injections? She's only like 19 or 20, right? And I'm like, it's a little bit off.
Yeah.
She's nice. It goes round. She's beautiful. I was like, what are these dots? And how come it looks oblong, right?
Yeah.
Not square, but more out. So, everyone probably is differently when they inject them.
Right.
This is probably toward the beginning of ass injections. But yeah, I never liked the any type of false advertisement.
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm not big on that, and that seems to be something that's becoming more and more like popular. You know what I mean? I'm seeing a lot of girls doing that now, man.
Well, in some cases, it looks better when they have the bikini or the panties still on.
Yeah.
Right? And then when they take the panty off, then you can tell that it's fake and kind of ruins the visual efficacy of the fantasy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, in those days, like the early days we were talking about, I think breast jobs were very rare, but they were there rarely.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some more. Yeah, I feel you totally. I don't like plastic
really,
at all.
Right.
Once in a while, if the tits get stretched out and they do a tit job and it feels natural and you can't really tell, fuck it.
Right.
But an ass job,
Yeah.
all the girls got to do is eat some food and work out, squats, bicycle. If she doesn't have the genetics, try to make them.
Right.
Hard work,
Keep it natural.
like Mayweather says.
Right.
So the girls. So we went through some of the girls. Any other girls you can think of? We got Ginger, Christy, Amber, Taja, Stacy, Donovan. You said Buffy before.
Buffy Davis always.
There was a girl named Jade East that looked sexy.
Remember Jade East?
Right? She had that something about her made me crazy.
I remember her.
May Lynn, I worked with May Lynn.
May Lynn.
Yeah,
Wow.
she was great.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
That one for
May Lynn.
May Lynn was good, man.
Shit.
How about Sue Nero?
I never,
That's going way back.
oh yeah?
Yeah, Sue Nero.
Damn.
That goes way back.
Linda Lovelace, but she doesn't really.
No.
She didn't do very much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Nina Hartley always had that ass. Man.
Yeah, she had ass,
Yeah,
for
she
sure.
did. Yeah.
She, do you work with Nina?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It was great. You know, I mean, the first time was spectacular because it wasn't for a movie. And then the two times we worked together on film was great. Even with the condoms.
Wow.
With the condom. So always a condom, except for.
No, because at the time, Video Team had been condom. Video Team was a company back then. And there was a moment that they were condom only, where the industry, a lot of big companies went condom only, and Video Team wanted to be in consider like the vivid of black video, and so they went condom only. And so the two times I shot with Nina was what appeared where Video Team was condom only.
Shit.
So I never got a chance to feel Nina.
So what
I felt it.
What period was
But I don't think she liked me too much because every time I smashed and she was like, Heisman, you know what I mean?
Damn.
Get the fuck off me.
Yeah, I've dealt with that more times than that. Shit.
Well, let's go back to another girl I think you would love. And I know you know her. And you probably know her too, that we never brought up before. And she was great. I worked with her. Keisha.
Oh man!
Yeah, wow.
Keisha Dominguez. What? Right?
The old school Keisha, Spanish looking, curly hair,
God.
big tits,
Oh my God!
ass.
You got that?
Yeah.
And the big hairy. Oh, she had a beautiful hairy bush.
Yeah.
And the softest pussy hair.
Yep.
She was horny.
Oh my
I know exactly
God!
who she is. I remember her. Oh,
Did you
yeah.
ever, wait, did you ever hear her?
No.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Man, yeah.
You didn't work with her. It was way before your time.
What?
Oh, so we're talking about a different Keisha.
No, we are not.
Yeah, yeah.
There's only one Keisha.
Really?
A big Latina girl, long
Yeah.
curly brown hair,
Let's pull her up.
big ass titties.
Big ass
Come on,
titties.
man.
But you work with her?
Yes.
Whoa. I mean, how?
Maybe it was at the tail end of her career. You probably worked with her when she was in her prime.
Yeah, right at about 1990 I
I
worked.
worked with her when she was subprime.
So what years, like, your main years, man?
Probably from 89 to 1000.
Okay.
Probably about 11 years.
Yeah.
Then I started my own production. I started my own production in 97, and I slowly started fading away because I was doing business.
Right.
You know, it was just, I'm a business guy.
Right.
You know, I have a mind I can do, you know. So I just drifted away doing business. But
I shot with my first scene in Los Angeles was actually December of 1997.
Oh shit.
And I was flown out here by a director by the name of Mike Raven. And shoot with a girl named Sydney Steele. It was great. Anyway, my first scene in LA was TTBoy, Guy De Silva, and myself with Inari Vox.
Oh shit.
And Inari went on to become a female performer one of those early years. And that was my first scene in LA.
Wow.
In 1997, December.
God damn.
So, sometimes you ease in, and sometimes you get immediately thrown in against, like, I know Guy De Silva was kind of like a regular dude,
Yeah.
but TTBoy is already, like, the hierarchy. And then Inari was climbing that hierarchy really early because she became popular, like, right away because she was crazy.
Wow.
And that was before my first AVN. Yeah.
Keisha, so you work with her?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you went out Keisha, fuck.
Oh yeah, of course.
Huh, all right, that's a trip. But she was great, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was wonderful. Yeah, she had soft hair. She was just, she had the soft skin too.
Elegant Angel. Elegant Angel, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, that's a trip, man.
Gangbang orgy, it's a couple orgies.
Well, let's go to the 90s then. Let's talk about some 90s girls. We'll go down the list real quick. Savannah. You remember the blonde Savannah?
That
Yes.
killed herself?
Huh?
That killed herself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
She was nice. You know?
Yeah.
She was very popular in those times, very, very popular. But she,
Oh yeah.
she was a little rough on the sets to some people, but she was an angel to me. I had a lot of love for her. She was great.
Shit.
You have Monique,
Remember Monique?
Wild Monique, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You have Janet Jackme.
Don't remember her.
No, man.
Don't remember her.
Come on.
You
man.
remember her, Alex?
Oh my God.
Oh, come on. That's a sin, man.
Let's just see a picture of her.
Oh, man. You've been...
And when I fucked her, when I fucked her, Mike was so, I jerked off to her for so often, so many times that the first time I worked with her, my dick had about maybe an extra, maybe 10 to 15% hard, just bigger because it was like, and I think I scared the shit out of her.
Oh shit. Wow.
You don't remember her?
No, man.
Whoa, man. She was...
Yeah, man.
She was good.
And like her, but it turned out
She's a little darker. I think she's a little bit more browner than that, right? The light hitter there.
that's the way she looks.
That's the color? I think he's a little browner. I think the light hit her a little too much, but sometimes.
Great makeup, great lighting,
Oh yeah.
You can't remember her?
Kind of. Yeah. Kind of.
She was special.
She was great, man. But the thing is, I think when she came back, she didn't realize that, there was more than one or two big guys, like, Sean and Jake. There was more than just two big guys, and she kind of, was kind of shocked, I think, with how many guys were bringing size to like every scene she did. Oh my God. Right.
But she loves to scream. I mean, she was great.
Yeah.
She's so good.
She was fantastic.
You have Midori. You remember Midori?
I do remember Dory.
For me, that face was something. Her face.
What's she called? Sister, that's
Yeah, Jodie Wiley's sister.
Sister, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
And I think that made her.
Sing too.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Michelle can sing.
And Midori had some, for me, crazy pussy. Crazy.
Oh shit.
Crazy, you know what I mean? Maybe she liked me. She liked me, but you know what I mean?
Right.
But then you have...
No, it was good. I mean, she might like you as well, but pussy was good.
Yeah, sometimes each person likes each other more.
Yeah.
The blood gets hotter.
Right.
The passion's hotter. It's all fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's kind of a strange thing that you don't totally know. This goes to the people for sure. If you don't really or are not into that girl so much, right? Mm-hmm. your dick is not going to be as hard. And if your dick is not as hard, it's not as sensitive. So that could affect the way her walls feel to you.
Right.
You know, it's a combination thing sometimes. When girls got great walls, they got great walls. But if you're not into them, your dick may not appreciate the beauty of those walls. Mm-hmm. You know, you agree with me?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, certainly enough, like, my chemical reaction with certain girls are different than other people might admit to. Like, you know, like I mentioned, like Nikki Benz, you know, Annika Albright.
Mm-hmm.
She's good, Annika?
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't worked with her, but I heard.
Yeah, Annika Albright.
I shot her, you know what I mean? But
I found her to be utterly fantastic. But it's Annika Albright and Nikki Benz, their pussy's like sticking your finger in an electrical socket.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, it's hot.
Their pussy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nikki, you get that? You know, Nikki didn't feel like outrageous.
She was great. No, she was great.
Like Nikki is like, you go into Nikki, you're like, I need to pull out right away, or I'm gonna fucking come right in you.
Right.
And Annika, you just look at her like, oh. I found the most incredible inside of anybody's body.
I found the fountain of youth.
Right.
Yeah. No, but not for nothing. You know, Monique had great pussy like that, but I did Kitten.
I didn't get that.
Damn.
Man, Kitten's pussy was like.
Would you? I mean, you're like me, Lex, a little bit. You are kind of a pussy guy. It sounds like, you know what I mean? Would you consider yourself a? You said you're an ass man, but you said you like fucking them in the ass. Are you a pussy man? Or you?
Both.
What do you appreciate the most about a girl?
I'm both, man, because you know I appreciate a girl who really gets off on anal, whereas you got girls who do it just because it's par for the course. You know what I mean? And they'll just do it to get through the shoot. But when I'm shooting with a girl who's like really like into it, man, that shit turns me on even more. So, but I like both. You know, I appreciate a nice hot wet pussy and give me a nice hot wet ass. I'm good. You know, when I shot for Evil, they like everything was an anal. Everything, Dredd's anal excursion, Dredd's the anal this, anal that. I always appreciated that, man. So that I love that.
But now, do you enjoy anal at home in your recreation?
Personal? Oh yeah. And it's funny because I actually run into girls who, because of my size, they'll be like, you know what, your dick is probably too big for my pussy. So, you know, if you just want to go with my ass, like this girl, you guys probably, Lana Rhodes is the name. You know her.
Was that blonde?
No, brunette.
Big ass titties.
Yep. Nice.
But like,
Not an English girl.
No.
American? Okay.
Yeah, American.
Like,
is she American?
Yeah.
She is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so she.
Maybe there was Alicia Rhodes who I shot years ago, a blonde with big tits from England. But okay, yeah.
Lana Rhodes, she's nice, man. But I remember
Black.com girl.
when I shot with her, she came up. The first thing she said, "Hey, how you doing? I've been waiting to meet you." She said, "We're just gonna fuck my ass all day." I said, "Okay, that's fine by me." You know what I mean? I love that shit.
Yeah, she was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, man. It was one of them like, you know, like word, like little girl, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you.
Oh yeah.
You mean you're doing this shit? I mean, she was like that, right? In terms of like that young white girl, we were like, damn, do your parents have any idea what is out there?
Right.
You know, well, you're about to find out.
Yeah.
Because
He's talking about Jake Steve's movies. Monsters.
yeah, well, she was in Jake's time, could have been over. She had 3 or 4 bandanas on her for an hour and a half, right?
But I'm guessing that if you're the size of Mandingo or the size of yourself, most pussies must be real tight.
Oh yeah, always. No, always. But you know, there's always those girls that, man, believe it, and you guys know, you think you're gonna go in there and put that dick on them, and they're like, okay, bring it. You know what I mean? And they, regardless of how big or how many, you just got some of those girls that are wired for like taking dick. Like,
Well, no, it's just that we're in the pros, and this is the highest level of our media. You know, if we were in shooting video in some other state that also shoots video versus shooting in Los Angeles, you know that the killers are in LA, you know what I'm saying? The monsters,
right.
you know, the girls that are man-eaters, they're in LA.
Right. Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say, man, is as much as I'm enjoying everything I'm doing with Jules right now, he's got to get me a line of like black girls, man. Got to.
Because the market is, I have to tell you, the market is so at a loss for good black, high caliber black stuff.
I've gotten a few doing this OnlyFans stuff, you know, but I haven't shot with a black girl yet professionally.
I mean, I speak pretty truthfully, you know what I mean? So, you know, my company and me, you know what I mean? The shit, black porno, only a video team shot black porno back in the day, you know, and that wasn't very much. No. One release, maybe a month, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they had the girl line.
Right.
And, you know.
So they didn't do much. Yeah. In '96, you know, I started doing black movies. Or I was fucking all the black girls.
Black street hookers.
Black street.
Wow.
Asian street hookers.
Black street hookers. I remember that.
But that's just, you know, the beginning of my time. You know, then my company was Evasive Angles.
Damn.
You know Evasive Angles?
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, all those titles, I have, you know, well, I have 1,500 titles, right?
Damn.
Yeah, but Evasive Angles, you know, really put a lot of money into, you know, black product. You know, with black actors, fucking all the girls worldwide. Right. You know what I mean? But the point is, I heard this, you know. Some people debate it, but I had a lot of love, right? And I put a lot of love into the product. Black Street was kind of nitty-gritty, you know, kind of in the street, like it sounds, right? But I put a lot of money into Evasive Angles product. Mm-hmm. A lot of money, love, energy. And so I helped get the wheels rolling for a black product, right? And I helped the engines. I helped Jake. We you know, Jake saw me doing this. He wanted to do a company before, and he said, oh, he's going to make his. I shot his first 2 movies or 3 movies. I shot his videos. I helped, you know, I'm part of this black product. And so I helped the engines get rolling. A lot of people copied the model of my company.
Oh, shit.
You know, I never, Jake saw big dicks. Mm-hmm. He said, okay, I'm going to use big dicks. You know, I mean, I never jumped on that bandwagon. I just wanted to get good quality and get the performers to work and go out of the country and be easy on me. You know, it's easier sometimes with the normal size.
Yeah.
You know, I had Charlie Mack and Max Black.
There was Dark Side.
Yeah, Dark Side was just the West Coast. No, let's understand West Coast. Yeah, let's understand West Coast real quick. West Coast started with white product. Okay? White on white. Yeah. Okay? My editor was editing their stuff in 1998.
Craig?
Right?
Craig?
No.
No.
It's a guy named Tim. Right? And they were not doing good. Right? This is a fact. Jake started his in 98, somewhere around there. And Jake became friends with James. James saw Jake doing well. That's when he went to black product, pretty much.
Black on black or interracial?
Interracial and black. You know, because Monsters, obviously, everybody saw that one do good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was...
So, but this, I don't believe James did much black product until about 2001.
No.
2001.
When I came in 98, the reason why I say that definitively and so decisively is because I shot for James immediately in 98, black on black. Booty Talk has over 100 releases under that series. That date all the way back to when I was started.
Damn.
Have you ever shot for West Coast?
No. Never.
You ever met James?
No.
You sure about that? I'm gonna have to call you on that one because They were shooting white product in the day.
They were, but Booty Talk began at my early stages. I remember shooting Booty Talk at the very beginning.
I remember Booty Talk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's about 2000, 2001. Oh, you're gonna have to
Check out one like Booty Talk number 1. What number is that?
Booty Talk number
That's
one.
number 1.
All right, 1998. You're right. Okay.
See, I'm a little bit I'm an historian too, man. Like,
All right.
I know I'm a historian of this shit.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
But I still started before West Coast.
Right, no,
2 years.
no doubt.
2 years before, I put a lot of energy.
Well, James started in 96.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. That's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so some people say when I left
Right.
in 2010 and moved away, that a lot of the energy moved away with it.
Oh shit.
The black product started disappearing.
Well, I will say that, and I will confidently submit that between the years of 2004 through 2012, my product, Mercenary Pictures, I had a number of black lines that held the torch for you in subsequent to what you did with your titles. I had a 10-year span of where I was I represented a very big percentage of the high-end black on black product in the market, whether it was certainly my flagship was Black Rain. Then I had Ebony XXX, I had Nightstick, Black POV, right? And a number of Women of Color, Black Moon Rising. And of course, you had a million titles. You know what it is, the titles have.
So then, I wonder why it's fallen by the wayside now.
Well, TT was putting out such a quantity and a quality that gave him a market positioning that when he moved away, it did take a lot of the wind out of the sail, right? And what happens is if you have fewer studios putting out great stuff, then that void is being fulfilled by amateur.
Maybe, but maybe also this, my energy was high energy, so we got to understand the world of the, the earth, the universe, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of energy, right? So I had love and energy, it was important to me, so I helped create it. Also, maybe on the second part of this, when I left, right, the production, the amount of production that I did employed so many people. Yeah. And they would, people would come to my place, I'd hook them up, shoot them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, right? The actors were working a lot, the ones that I had in my, team, right? So the girls obviously are the number one thing, when it comes to, porno.
So, yeah.
So if I'm shooting these girls and I make such a big market to shoot, these girls are going to make money quick. They go to somebody else, but when they come to me, I'm not stroking them, saying, oh, next day, come back, 95% of the time, if I say you're shooting the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. So that means that the pretty girls, right? Girls want to make money. They're not going to sell their ass and show their ass off unless there's some money involved. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to do one scene in 1 month, that might not be very attractive to the girls. Yeah. But if they're going to come to me, I'm going to give them 4 or 5 scenes real quick. Maybe you're going to give them a scene. Maybe West Coast will give them a scene or 2. Then there's a better reason to work. There's more reasoning for them to stick around, pretty girls to come, for the agents to be able to get the girls to come and get them to work. Mm-hmm. So when I took a lot of that out of the area, maybe, with also the energy, I put a lot of energy in, man, worldwide, maybe the attraction was not the same because the money is not there as much.
I think what happened, while not taking anything away from what you said, there was a lot of money that went away from the budgeting of black on black movies, and it became a self-fulfilling prophecy that the return on investment, the ROI on a black product, was less than an interracial or white on white. And what's happening is that studios began to attribute smaller and smaller budgets to their black-on-black products and directorships.
Yeah.
And so if you have a lesser budget, you're going to produce an inferior product. So how do you compete when you are set to deliver an inferior product from the beginning?
Yeah.
And after we close up Black History Month, these are things that are important because, you know, what you said about the black-on-black and doing something with what you're doing within your realm with Jules would be fantastic because there's a lack of, I mean, without the production that TTBoy is putting out, without my product,
Right.
there's a big chasm. And imagine like if you included what you guys did, a black and white product.
Right.
Like, you know, one of my best sellers with my Evil Angel stuff is a series I had called Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was we ran out of black female talent. After about 5, we got to volume 5.
Because I wasn't around.
Well, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying because I made AJ, I made Brian, I made Antonio, I made these guys.
Yeah.
I made these guys.
Now black girls.
Yeah,
they
that
disappear.
went out there.
Because now, like,
That's what people don't know. I created these guys to generate.
to go recruit.
Not anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, I did.
Right.
Even Ed, the bald-headed dude. You remember that dude?
The agent?
Agent. Big ball. I knocked him out in a street fight because he, you know, was going behind my back. Huh?
White guy.
He was with Robin D. Remember that guy? Ed. Ball. He's pretty big, pretty strong.
You had to put the hands on him.
I lit him up, and that was that. You know. But you know, he's dead. I don't want to talk bad because that's not my style. But the facts are the facts. You know. But I helped create all. Nobody knows that I pulled these people in. And did so much, you know, Antonio, AJ, Brian, and Ed, you know what I mean? But, you know, everybody take my
But
kill, you know, they eat off my kill, and that's that. But if I'm not shooting all the movies, the high-quality black girls, right, it's harder for them to come if there's not a lot of production going on.
Well, it's changed. I mean, like, the you know, I'm sure, Judge, you've probably seen it go from the classically built sister to the sister that now looks the same as some of the small petite white girls.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, me and Titi talked about this earlier. How have you felt dealing with constantly being coupled with girls that are petite, as that being the premise? The priority is that they're this petite, you know, spinner, this pixie,
Right.
and they want to see the BBC with.
You know what? It goes back to like what we were talking about before. Like it seemed like back 80s, 90s, the porn stars that I looked up to were women. You know, voluptuous women, right? And somewhere along the line, I can't put the years on there. It went from that to now the hot.
I
young
see that transition
girl.
took place in my tenure.
Yeah.
I saw that transition.
And it happened right in front of our eyes. Now, I'm not, you know, as far as how I feel about it personally, I'm such a pussy fiend that the small pixie, I'm cool with that. You
Really?
know, yeah, I'm cool with it. Preferably, give me some voluptuousness.
Like Angela White.
Yes.
But see, like, okay, because I push back against the petite girl, and the reason why is, and I get that you flow well with it. With me, I push back against it because it put me in jeopardy for failure. Whereas I wasn't attracted to him, and I knew if I had a moment of weakness, there was nothing that girl could do for me that would get me out of trouble. like I'm damned if I do because I took the scene.
Right.
And if she's skinny and petite, I'm gonna lose it, and I'm not gonna look at her and get rolling. So I would steer away from being booked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and lucky I had a little cachet. Now, have you found that?
I want to say that, don't lose thought on that thought, but Jake Steed felt similar. Sometimes he's like, no skinny girls, please.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess apparently it must move well. You know, that idea of me being 6'5", you know, with the super big dick and these tiny girls. It's like, oh my God, can they handle it? Can they deal with it? I guess it sells, but I know when I'm doing my own thing, you know, I'm more, you know, the girls, women, you know, it's a little bit older, curvy, more voluptuous. But just to answer the question, I can go either way.
Well, that's a tribute to you. I mean, that you can, you know, you have that flexibility.
At 7, he's, you know, looking at the magazines.
Yeah, of course. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So you're pussy, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I always try to find, if you know, if he tells me a girl that we're shooting and let's say she's a small pixie, in my mind, mentally, I'll find something about her that's gonna flip that switch. You know what I mean? I'll do my very best to. That's how I look at it going in. Now, when it happens to be a shoot with like an Angela White type, then it's all, you know, you know, no worries. You just gotta get there. But yeah, no, a lot of the cases, like there's a line we do of you know, Dredd versus the teens, and these are girls that are yay big and 100 pounds, you know what I mean? And they're taking the dick. But I mean, it's cool. I can flow with it. Yeah, I can flow with it.
I want to say another part of the sales of, you know, black product. Here's what I'm very sure about. When the black product, right, was on a more tangible piece, right? Older, in my opinion, the older gentleman, you know, probably 35 to 65, 70, was buying the product. When the crash came in 2008, credit cards were destroyed. People had no credit cards, a lot of them, right? A. B. Magically at the right time, here comes free porn tube sites that you've never seen or heard about in your life. Where can you get free porn? In the streets, people are duplicating it, you know, but that's not free porn. You still got to pay $5 for a DVD or whatever. Yeah. They always have my stuff bootlegged. But where the hell can you get free porn? And guess what? They're not going to protect, nobody wants to protect you, especially in this point in time, and they don't know how to protect you, the judges, the courts, mostly. But the second part of this is that the younger black men, I think, are saying, know how to do the computer. They say, I'm not paying for it. You know what I mean? And then the older gentlemen, they're not so savvy on the internet at this point in time. You know what I mean? I mean, we're not everybody's, you know, high-speed internet nationwide. So this made a problem for, you know, to generate sales and to generate revenues. That's how I, you know, this is believe me, I fought, chased people down, and it's just a mockery to my face. You know what I mean? After all the product I put together, I had guns to my head, to my back, fighting everybody, you know, just to get the product completed worldwide.
I would just say that, and this is from you know, a look at the industry and what motivates the industry. I would say that in regards to black and black porn, I think the core audience has been disappointed by what they're being delivered as of late. Okay, so what happens then is they lose a core audience. So if you lose a core audience of black on black product, which is a black consumer, then you're left with no foundation. The reason that what happened was the people that are producing black on black movies began to be the same people producing interracial and white on white. So they began selecting women that looked much like the white girls that they were hiring in other productions, which was contrary to what the black consumer was looking for when buying and consuming their black and black product. And therefore, they went away not to return. So with your sentimentality in terms of the type of women, the breadth of women that you like, if you were to do black on black, it'd be great. If I went back to producing on a wide scale basis, I would focus on black on black. But my only problem is would myself and yourself, would we run out of available talent?
Yeah.
If I come back into the picture, you got to have it.
Well, it can happen because we'd have to turn around or bring about a resurgence of the classically built black girl as what you get when you're getting black on black.
Right.
How many Cherokees can you resurrect?
Yep.
Right? Give me all of them. Because that's what we would need if you want to bring back black on black.
I think the door is wide open for it. It's just who's going to do it.
But it's not going to be done by girls that look like a black version of what's the white girl we talked about? Riley Reid.
Right.
A black version of that's not going to be the resurgence of black on black. It's going to be the resurgence of Naomi Banks. Who's the next Naomi Banks? Who's next Missy Stone?
Roxy, Pinky.
Roxy Reynolds, Pinky.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I mean, Pinky had both. Yeah, all of those. Those three girls for me had the crazy. Sky Black.
Yeah.
Body.
What? Beauty Dior.
Beauty.
What?
Even Miss Cleo has a crazy body.
Shit.
But you have to find the girls.
Although I will give a vote for Skin Diamond because
I was just going to mention her. I was just going to
Skin Diamond was a bad mother. You worked her?
Yeah.
She was a bad.
No. I haven't worked with her, but just when you guys were talking, I was going to throw her name out there.
Yeah, Skin Diamond was.
I was gone out of town.
Oh, you missed her? Oh man, she was like Heather Hunter 2.0.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Oh, she looked like she was down.
But
she was.
Yeah, but
looked horny, right?
Supercharged. She was like.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty too. Pretty.
Turbo.
Yeah.
The door is wide open for somebody to do it, man.
It's the grind. It's the because I'm telling you. I made these agents happen, you know what I mean? And I went worldwide scouting new talent for years and years and years. I was the first into Colombia, into Venezuela, Cuba. I'm first in the Philippines.
Shit.
First a lot of places. But it's the legwork.
Right.
Can you do the legwork to pull these girls?
Right.
Well, you know who was good, and we spoke about this, I think last time, TT, was this Brian Pumper.
Oh, yeah.
He was perhaps one of the greatest, or certainly one of the greatest performers at recruiting girls. And these were girls that would only shoot for Brian and never shoot again.
He might be number one.
And they were so bad. They were so hot. I mean, Brian would pull off, and he just, I don't know.
Yeah. He's probably number one, because the girls like him. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And so people want to talk shit about Pumper a lot of times.
Yeah.
But that's because they don't know much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He was good at what he did.
No, he's a good performer.
He's a good performer, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
He spoke a good game, but unfortunately he misrepresented himself and his business to the girls. But I mean, the girls he would get with you.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. No, his boss girls. I'd be like, who the fuck?
Damn.
But Jake wasn't that bad either. But Brian is,
Yeah.
Wow.
And we don't want to miss that Jake Steed's Freak Hoes and Flows in part of the black culture pioneer. We're together there, but okay, so let's go back to some more girls so we don't lose that subject of the 90s.
Right.
What other girls do you remember that you like?
See, man, wow. That's a tough question, man. I mean,
just throw out names that you liked.
It's hard, man. I'm drawing a blank. I mean,
all right. Well, then, if you are, I gotta ask you another question. Not to change the direction, but let me ask you this. Are you already directing? Do you have, do you plan to be doing scenes and productions that you put together? What is that dynamic?
You know what? That's something I've been thinking about. I mean, with these platforms now, which the only one I use is the OnlyFans.
Now, which is what?
OnlyFans is just
No, I know that, but what's the name of yours?
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just Dredd XXX at OnlyFans, .com. But it's it's really my angle at doing something, my way, what I'd want to see and how I'd want to see it done. It's pretty basic, but it's obviously, I can't even compare it to anything that I'm doing on a professional level. But I enjoy it, man, and it's something that I've thought about doing, when it's time to kind of hang it up, you know what I mean? I've thought about maybe moving into that direction, man. I'd like to think that I've you know, built up enough of a name, you know, enough recognition to kind of, you know, help the cause. So something I've been thinking about, you know, there's no doubt on that. You know, I don't know how much, I feel like I still got a lot of good fuck miles left though, straight up. Yeah, I still feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm doing the best fucking that I've done ever now.
Well, it's not until you have to stop fucking. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, I'm just saying the implementation of your own idea, like, you know, your setups,
right,
versus, you know, someone else's, you know, idea. Like for instance, like when I worked for Jules with the Impaler, it was Jules' rendition of this chick. I would shoot the same girl for my stuff, and I would have a whole different way to arrive at the sex than how he arrived at the sex.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I would, I've got ideas in my head totally different from the stuff that, you know, I do with him. But again, until I'm totally independent, I'm not going to be able to, you know, really explore all that as much as I'd like to, you know, because I'm still in the deal with him. We're still going through it, but afterwards, yeah, it's definitely something I've been thinking about, man. You know.
Well, you're already doing it with OnlyFans, and you're already in the midst of doing that.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I enjoy it, man. Hopefully, you know, get it to the point of where it's done just, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint, much better, because I'm keeping it pretty. I'm doing really good at it right now for it just being very basic, you know what I mean? Because I think most people that are signing up, you know, they want to see, you know, how these girls are taking my dick, you know, the basic shit. And I'm giving them that, you know, I'm giving them that in spades with that. So, so in my mind, the fact that that's doing good now, just imagine when I put more into it, you know, and get more idealistic and shit like that. So, you know, I think about it though.